name is Kiera. I'm going to be talking about the domains of mind today. I'll be going over what that means, what they do. I'll be showing a creative project I made that represents each of the domains of mind, including how it ties into Wise Mind. I'll also be mentioning a scenario where I felt that one of the domains kind of overpowered me, and I'll reflect on it, looking at how could I have incorporated the Wise Mind and made better choices or helped the situation. So for starters, there is 3 domains of mind. That kind of all equivalent to this Wise Mind. So separately, they can be very controlling, I would say, where emotion mind is you're sad, that's going to dictate your decisions. You're acting down because you feel down, for instance, or you're excited. That very well dictates our behavior every single day from the minute that we wake up. Analytical mind is analyzing and reason, so taking things into account, maybe double checking, thinking things through, making decisions. That's definitely an important thing. Again, we face all of these every single day, but sometimes in different proportions. Body mind is your body awareness and things you feel externally and things you feel internally. So it can be wounds that you feel down to your stomach is in a knot because you're anxious or you're stressed or you're getting headaches and your body's trying to tell you, things from a non-verbal point of view. All those are very important. They all tie into something called Wise Mind, which is incorporating all 3, taking everything into consideration, and it's a balanced approach, which is usually the best way to go through a thing. So practicing a Wise Mind approach is good. It does take some practice, but once you're aware of it, it gets easier within time, I think. So I will be going over my project and how I think it relates to the domains of mind. This is the emotion mind, how I imagined it. Again, it's very messy, it's very colorful, they're smiling, but they have tears. There's a lot going on, just as there would be from an emotional point of view. You don't always know how you're feeling. You're not going to know how you feel tomorrow. You can't predict it. It's strictly unpredictable and very controlling in your decisions. I'd say one of the most influential for sure for myself. Okay? Yeah. How I envisioned analytical mind. This individual, it looks kind of like a robot. Emotional mind was kind of messy, unclear. This is very precise, it's symmetrical. The way I saw that was your reason, you're analyzing things. This is a clock, this eye is a camera. The way I saw that is you're working from a manual point of view in your analytical mind, and cameras, it's the same thing. So I thought there was a nice correlation there. So this one here is the body mind. This is how I envisioned the body. So this one's very simple as I would see the body domain, but at the same time it's being aware of yourself. So I put different positions on this painting here of people. I also incorporated 2 different colors only in this one because the blue would represent cold, the red represents hot. Body's very affected by temperature. That can change how you're feeling. It can change how you're thinking. You can be agitated. Wounds are gonna affect you completely, so I did put like a band-aid on there. And yeah, this is how I would have represented that. Okay. This is my Wise Mind. So this is an individual that's taking all 3 of them into consideration. So this is emotional mind here. This is analytical, and this is body. As you can see, they're the same colors that I had in my paintings, and I thought this was a nice way to represent it by incorporating all 3. Actually, these individuals actually taken from the body mind image. This was one of the small figures I had on there. The clock comes from the analytical mind. That one I incorporated as well, and the colors come from the emotional mind, being very scattered, unpredictable, and just very expressionate. I thought that was a great way. This individual is very balanced, taking all of them into consideration, and that is probably the best way to enter any situation. Being able to reflect on your different domains of mind is important to learn. Okay, lastly, I did create this little poem here on a wine bottle. This is something I did as kind of like a side project to represent the domains of mind, and how alcohol can alter that. So I'll just read out the poem quickly here. After one glass of wine, I feel warm and cozy inside. My cheeks start to blush. I feel perfectly fine. I may stay a while. I'm in no hurry. I'm in no rush. After half a bottle of wine, do I dance or do I hide? I miss him. I message my crush. I'm feeling just fine, but my vision is now blurring and my face is completely flushed. After a full bottle of wine, I stumble and call for a ride. My voice is strained. As I shout out loudly, I'm told to shush. I do not feel fine. I drank way too much damn wine. Tomorrow I'll be sorry. My mind feels like mush. To the actual figure of this, I thought it was just a creative way to represent it. Kind of picks apart the domain. So after one glass of wine, I would say that your wise mind's still there. You can control your emotions fairly well. This is maybe only personally, maybe one other person, their domains will be affected differently, but after one glass of wine, I personally can still keep track of my emotions, still keep track of my decisions, and I'm aware of my body and body awareness. After half a bottle of wine, however, that's when things start to change a little bit. So do I dance or do I hide? And that just indicates, the analytical side of decision making on, oh, well, now I'm feeling a little bit risky or whatnot. I miss him. I message my crush. That represents the emotional side of the mind kicking in. From a personal point of view, you're going to be changing the way that you feel, whether it's happy, loving, angry, upset. I felt it all personally from drinking experiences, but my vision is now blurring and my face is completely flushed. Now that comes into account from the body mind, being aware of your temperature, your physical appearance, feeling your cheeks get nice and warm. Everything is kind of now out of proportion and out of that balanced wise mind approach. After a full bottle of wine, I stumble and call for a ride. So now this individual is really in trouble regarding that wise mind. My voice is strained as I shout out loudly, I'm told to shush. So now other people are aware and you're definitely going to be regretting that. So tomorrow I'll be sorry, my mind feels like mush. And that overall just ties in the whole thing of, the domains of mind, feeling just is not there. So yeah, that I thought reflected kind of from my personal experiences with liquor and alcohol. The wise mind maybe not have decided to drink at all. Would have been like, hey, this is too risky for me. I don't want to be deferred into one of these minds and it go downhill from there. So the wise mind would have done that, or probably just had the one glass of wine where you're feeling good and known when to stop. Personal experiences with the domains of mind, I would have to say often I let my emotional side of my mind kind of steer me, and once I'm in my wise mind, I can analyze and reflect on how I made maybe a poor decision or how I was coming across. So I would say that one of my experiences would be with my boyfriend. There was one time where I was working on an assignment together with him and I was getting really frustrated at myself because I was trying to do the equations. I couldn't do them on my own, so I was asking him for help, but he was also getting kind of frustrated with me, which I understand. To him it was easy and he was like, whatever, like you should do this, and I'm like, but I don't think that's how you do it. And there's kind of a back and forth dialogue, some bit of argument going on, and I actually felt my body mind as well. Like I could feel myself getting like flushed and just like hot, and often that comes with my emotion mind. Those two are often tied together. So I first started feeling hot. I was like agitated, I was frustrated, mostly with myself, but after I kind of went from my emotional mind, once that kind of took over, I started pointing fingers at him like why aren't you helping, or like I'm trying my best here, like you're not putting these into simple terms, blah blah blah. Meanwhile I probably should have just taken a break. Wise mind, looking back at it now, I started a whole fight about it. I ended up leaving that night. saying like I'm leaving, like I'm frustrated over homework problems. So obviously I think there was other things going on at that time, at that day. I had a bad day, and rather than reflecting on it and being like in my wise state of mind going into this assignment, I was already in my emotion mind, bouncing back to my body mind, getting agitated, and analytically it just wasn't really there. So looking back at it now, I should have either taken a break. I should have realized that he was trying to help me, and if I should have expressed to him how I was feeling frustrated with myself, rather than pointing fingers, and also rather than just trying to get up and leave and run away from the situation, because often I'm too scared to, pull out the reason mind and explain things, because I don't think people will understand. But they will, and that's something that I've reflected on, is that you need to express those things before they get out of control, before you're completely altering a situation that didn't need to go in that direction or downhill. So we talked about it, and that's the first situation that comes up, because I realized how kind of silly it is reflecting back on. It was such a simple scenario, but it really did actually affect our relationship, because I wasn't using my wise mind. And my boyfriend, being someone who's like an engineering and very analytical minded, sometimes we do butt heads, because I act a lot on my emotions and what those things are telling me in my domains, and he acts from an analytical point of view. So again, that brings out, we both have different strengths coming together. When we're both in our wise minds, is a great, happy relationship. We're doing great. But when we're both stubborn in those ways, and he can't pull out his emotion side, and I can't pull out my, my analytical side, or one or the other, that's when problems happen. So it's important to keep an open dialogue, communicate, reflect, go back, apologize. We're not perfect people, but it can be avoided in those situations once you're aware of your wise mind in those domains. So I think this project had really helped me understand that, and just pulling out the creative aspect. I found it really interesting trying to get in that domain when I was creating the piece, and I really enjoyed that, especially with the wise mind, incorporating all of it. It was a great time. I did a lot of reflection. I could have a lot of other scenarios to discuss where I've reflected, but I thought that one was pretty impactful, in the sense where before this assignment came up, I started reflecting, and then once this assignment came up, I realized it's really something I need to work on. So those are the domains, the 3 domains. I hope you enjoyed my little poem and all of my project there. Okay.